Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the March 14th eclipse in Virgo. Now, eclipses can last for like 6 months. So again, this energy could be just like a theme or an energy that you're dealing with for the next 6 months. You have this card. It says, "There's hope ahead. Have courage and take heart, for there is hope." Love it. You have this other card that says, "You do not have to go it alone. Reach out for support at this time." And you have the Ten of Wands, which is trying to do everything on your own. So again, it could be a great time for you to ask for support here, Cancer, especially with anything that you're in. You have this card. It says time to collaborate. Are you kidding? Definitely would be a good time for you to get the support of other people and get help. Ten of Wands is how you are entering into this reading, right, for this Celtic cross. And the Ten of Wands can say that you're carrying too many heavy burdens, or you're carrying too many burdens in general, and you need to release some of those burdens so you can lighten the load, so you can move faster towards the finish line, and so that you can cross the finish line, just in general. He has these 10 wands, and they are very much in front of his face. He cannot see how close he is to his home right here. So I don't necessarily consider the 10 of wands to be a bad card, because he planted those wands. Those wands are his harvest, and when he reaches his home, he will have a harvest. So it's a card kind of responsibility. The card itself says that by taking these responsibilities, by doing the hard work, you're going to get a result. But sometimes we can pick up other people's burdens along the way. It's like, what if your neighbor is like, "Hey, I have all these problems. Can you take them to your home for me?" And that's kind of what I feel here. It's like, are you doing the things to take care of yourself? Or not? And I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. I've been saying all year, for over a year now, I should say, that, I think it's time for Cancer to learn that they don't have to be everybody's mother, which Cancer loves. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Cancer loves that mothering energy, right? But at the same time, you shouldn't do it so much that you sacrifice your own needs. And I feel like that's what the card is saying. Your crossing energy is the Four of Swords. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. And the Four of Swords here, I feel, is saying that you need to make sure that you are taking good care of yourself, right? If you need a break, take a break. If you need a rest, make sure you're getting rest. And it's also about asking for things. Sometimes I feel that the Four of Swords crossing says that you are not asking for something that you desire, and you need to ask. And the other interesting thing is that we have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. The King of Swords is showing up in the area of your thoughts. The Queen of Swords is showing up in your foundation. The problem with these two is that they're not talking. I'm not saying this is a love reading. I'm just giving you an example here. That in love, right? When I see this in a love reading, to me it represents two people who don't see eye to eye, or two people who are not talking. Usually I don't take it as a good thing. And so in this reading, I feel it's more about asking. I feel that these two are saying that you need to kind of connect what you want to ask for, your thoughts, the King of Swords here, with your foundation. The Queen of Swords shows up in your foundation position. It's like I'm taking this message to mean that Cancer needs to, ask for what they desire. It's like, really, I feel like the first part of this reading is about you learning how to ask for something, like whatever you need. Like, if you need more love from your partner, ask. If you need more, more money at work, ask, and all those other things. And, a lot of times I hear from people that say, like, I shouldn't have to ask. And, well, yeah, maybe that's true. But number one, if you're dating a man, men are stupid. So men, I don't know, I am stupid in connections. There are things that I just don't even see. Plus, ADHD doesn't help at all with me. But, right, there are things like I am clueless and not a mind reader, believe it or not. So I feel like most men are like that, and maybe they won't say that, but I'll say it to you, Cancer. So if you're with a person, it's like, it's not that they don't love you. It's just like maybe they're stupid like me. So maybe you just need to point it out and, and get them to do it. The other thing is like, people say I shouldn't have to ask, but it's like, well, you're just punishing yourself at that point, because if you can ask for something and the person will gladly give it to you, then you're just punishing yourself. So again, I kind of feel, I know that's not what the King of Swords means. I get it, but that is the message that I'm getting off of the King of Swords. With the Queen of Swords, same thing. Queen of Swords is showing up in your foundation. The funny thing about the Queen of Swords is she sees clearly exactly how she can get her desires, right? She is sitting here. She only has clouds halfway up her body. She has her hand out and her sword up. So she's kind of like saying that she's willing to receive, but she's also willing to cut anything else out of her life that doesn't serve her. And so it's like you see clearly how you can get the goal or how you can get the desire, which could be asking, right? It's like you can see it clearly. And I feel that she is saying, do it. I do feel good about this as well. Sometimes I feel, even, we're talking about the eclipse in this reading, but we also at the same time will have, Mars retrograde and that at the end of Venus retrograde, and then at the end of the month we'll have Mercury retrograde. But what I would say with the Queen of Swords is that, retrogrades can bring in clarity, even though people think of them as confusing. So if you're thinking about things from the past or answers that you've been looking for a long time, you could be getting those answers as well. And you can't make this up, because your next card in the area of the past is you see clearly now, this owl spirit. So you're definitely getting clarity. You have this ant spirit, says time to collaborate. Yeah, anything you're working on, I think this is true for everyone because of Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius is very good for anything having to do with the collective. So if you can work together with other people, you're just going to get a lot of benefits from that. You have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is the bridge between the heavens and the earth, and that's really the message that I'm getting off the Hierophant. The Hierophant, I have a million meanings for the Hierophant personally as a reader, but that's the message I'm getting for you off of the Hierophant, is like, I feel a lot of you could really be taking, kind of like heavenly ideas and bringing them down to earth. We have a crap ton of energy in Pisces, and, that energy in Pisces, very good for manifesting dreams, but also just, regular old ideas that you have. And so I would be even though it's showing up in the past, I feel that this right here, going to the Queen of Swords, is saying you need to bring those ideas down to earth. You need to bring those ideas down to the ground. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this do nothing card and this go for it card. That couldn't be any more confusing, could it? I mean, it's like literally two different energies, conflicting energy, which happens a lot. But I always like to remind people that life isn't black and white. Sometimes there are moments where we should, do nothing, and then there are other moments where we should do something. And maybe that's what this is talking about. It could be saying like, hey, if you don't feel like working or you don't feel like doing anything, Four of Swords, take a rest, take a break. You will feel motivated when the time is right, and the go for it card says when you feel motivated, that's when you should take action. And, that's kind of the energy that I get here. The other thing is that do nothing card is the void moon. And so maybe like for the first few days after the eclipse, we're talking until like the 17th or the 18th, maybe you should take those first few days after the eclipse to kind of like do nothing. And then like after the 18th or so, maybe that's when you should start taking action, because this is your very near future, and we're reading about the eclipse on the 14th. So, maybe wait a couple of days, few days, and go from there. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is like a knight in shining armor. Some of you could have your eye on a person here. Not really a love reading. We'll see what happens when we clarify, but, could be a knight in shining armor. It's also a card of do nothing, do something. He's standing in the desert, and he has this water flowing in front of him. The story of the Knight of Cups is that he has a dream, but he's standing in the desert, and nothing can grow in the desert. But the truth is that if he plants seeds in front of that water, they will grow. So I kind of feel that the do nothing, do something energy that we're getting off of those two cards is saying, like, do nothing. Don't force things to happen, but if you're getting into the flow, like this river here, and you can plant seeds and they'll grow easily, like towards a project or an idea or whatever you're doing, that's where you should be putting your energy, in something that flows. And, maybe that's what that part of the reading is trying to say. We'll clarify and we'll get more clarity on that. Next, in your outcome row, you have this crescent moon. It says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. Yes. You have a spare tree. It says, don't waste. This makes sense, actually. It says, don't waste your energy or efforts on something that is clearly not bearing fruit. Yes, if something is clearly not working, don't waste your time. Which is kind of what we said with that Knight of Cups. If something is growing, then you can invest your time, effort, energy into it, and it will continue to grow. Over the next few months, you have the Judgment card. Judgment is like, I kind of feel you're like slowly getting more and more answers, which has been coming up for you for a couple of months, Cancer, that you've been looking for answers, or you've been trying to gain answers. in certain areas of your life. And I kind of feel the Judgment card is saying that there are more answers coming, or you are getting more answers to the things that you're dealing with. And yeah, that's just kind of what I feel with the Judgment card, is that you're slowly getting answers. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, I kind of get this energy of needing to make up your mind. Like, if you are interested in a person, like, I would make up your mind on it, is what I feel here. I'm not saying you have to do anything either. We have Venus retrograde. So, even though I tell people all the time, like, I don't follow the retrograde rules. I think it's ridiculous. If we followed all the rules of astrology, we would have to live in a bubble, and you would never do anything. You wouldn't even breathe, actually. So, if you followed all the rules, right? So what I would say here is that I don't think we should let astrology control your life. But having said that, I also wouldn't rush right into a relationship at this time. But I do feel this is kind of like saying that if you want love, that you should maybe, kind of take the time over the next few months to make up your mind about wanting it or not. Like, she's like, do I, don't I? I feel like I said this to you recently. But she also has this island behind her, which represents a third place solution. So for those of you that are thinking about love or connection, it's like you could be thinking all relationships are like this, but really it's going to be like that over there. So, again, I think you're just processing. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Temperance card. I feel pretty good about the Temperance card. I feel you feel on a personal level much more in control of the changes that you're able to make. This is a card of alchemy. The Temperance angel is trying to turn water into wine. And I feel that over the next few months, really, that you're going to be feeling like you are able to kind of create turnarounds for yourself, or you are able to take a situation and turn, if it's a negative, you're able to turn it into a positive, things like that. And, that's what I would practice with that Temperance energy. Your outcome is the Five of Wands. Five of Wands can represent conflict or competition. This is definitely something that this eclipse could bring up for you, but it's not just the eclipse. It's probably the two retrogrades that we're having in Aries. So, and also over the next few months, we're going to have a lot of energy moving through Aries. All the planets in Pisces are going to be moving in that direction. So, again, there could be conflict, competitions, things like that coming up where you really have to stand out. And I feel like the King of Swords, he has all this knowledge and wisdom. He has a lot of knowledge and wisdom, but he needs to use it. And so I feel that, there could be competition coming in for you, but I also feel the Five of Wands is kind of like saying, it's your time to stand out from the competition. And that's what I would do with that Five of Wands energy, for sure. But let's see here, Cancer, what is going on for you? With the Four of Swords and the Ten of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. We talked all about flow with that Knight of Cups. And the Ace of Cups, sure, could be a love offer, but really at this time, I would be focusing more on the activities, the behaviors, the things that put you in the flow. Ten of Wands is not flow. Ten of Wands, again, he is burdened by those 10 wands. So while I think the Ten of Wands is a good card, I would still look at those things in your life, the people, the places, the things, the activities, the habits, the bad habits that slow you down. And I would either correct those things. Again, I don't think we have to cut everything out of our lives. I think that we can look at things that slow us down and we can find other solutions and speed those things up, right? And if we can't, that's when we cut it out. But, I think you should look at everything you're doing and try to create more flow. With the King of Swords, you have the Tower. Again, I feel like you're fearing a Tower moment here. I have a feeling everybody's going to get the Tower in this set of readings, by the way, number one. But number two, you go down to the Judgment card. Tower and the Judgment is the most powerful combination in the tarot. It represents a major wake-up call or having a major revelation. So I would be paying attention to any wake-up calls or revelations that you're having at this time, any aha moments, light bulb moments, things that just randomly pop into your head with those two cards, for sure. With the Queen of Swords, and also how funny is it, by the way, that the Tower gets reduced down to its foundation, always, and then we have to rebuild it stronger, and this whole entire time, we've been talking about King of Swords, Queen of Swords, in the foundation, the Queen of Swords, so it makes sense. With the Queen of Swords, you have Virgo, you have the Hermit, right? So we're having this eclipse in Virgo, Cancer, and we have the card that represents Virgo. So I think that it could be it's kind of like saying you need to shine at this time. The Hermit is hiding his light in this lantern. But he needs to shine that light out all over the place. He needs to put his skills on display. And the Five of Wands could be saying that. Your outcome card, basically says maybe you think there's competition in work or business or whatever, but you're never going to know what your full potential is until you go for it, right? And maybe that's what this reading is saying, is that you need to kind of like prove to yourself what you are capable of, because that's where true strength comes from. With the Hierophant, you have the Three of Swords, again, coming up in the past, which is good. This could say that you're learning how to heal from a past heartbreak, or you are or have healed from a past heartbreak, which is great, of course. The Three of Swords is all about forgiveness. We have to remove those swords from our own heart, and then we can, and forgive past situations so that we can move on. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Temperance card of patience. Like I said, take your time in any connections, not even just love, but just any connection at all that's coming in for you. Take your time, be patient, see if your values align with one another. This, like I said, this goes for business connections, work connections, friendships, all those things. Temperance is like seeing if two things can mix together. He is pouring those two cups together. And so I think that taking your time and really seeing how things mesh would be a good idea. With the Judgment card, you have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel you're definitely moving in a new direction here, because Judgment is like waking up to your purpose, and Six of Pentacles is taking steps in that direction. Six of Pentacles is also like equal give and take. So again, if you are connecting with a person, then it might be a good time to see if you two mix by just taking those small steps forward and seeing if there's equal give and take. With the Two of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. I would be careful of past people at this time, anyone who stabbed you in the back or anything like that. Again, this is one of those retrograde season, eclipse season type of things going on right now, where I feel people could be feeling things from the past. The Ten of Swords is also about a blessing in disguise. Like, it can say that something that didn't work out in the past was actually a blessing, and I do feel that there could be like a blessing in disguise here. With the Temperance card, you have the Fool. Yeah, over the next few months, there will come a time where you will have to take a leap of faith towards something new in your life. The thing about the Temperance card is that sometimes I feel he is trying to make something perfect when it never will be perfect. He just has to take action on the situation that he is trying to change, right? So I kind of feel that for you here, Cancer, where it's like saying that there will come a time in the near future where it's like you've done enough preparation and you're going to have to take the risk of looking like a fool. So, don't get stuck in mental processing mode. Like, I think sometimes we can think of an idea or a plan or a goal or a person, and we think about it to death and we overthink it and we don't take action. So it's almost like the Temperance card is saying balance. Like, yeah, okay, like do your research. It's a good time to do research on things right now, but also, have balance. Don't also talk yourself out of something that could be good for you. And I kind of get that feeling off of this part of the reading. The Fool says you're much more prepared than you realize as well. With the Five of Wands, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, like I would just charge right into the middle of this right here, this competition. The Knight of Wands is a card of being spontaneous and embracing spontaneous opportunity. So I'm not saying like right now, and definitely not right this second, but over the next few months, I think that, there could be an opportunity for you to take to enter into a competitive field. Like maybe this is a business or a career idea. Maybe there is a lot of competition, but Knight of Wands kind of says you should go for it and see what happens. You have this Love card, so there is a little bit of love here. Like I said, I wouldn't rush right into anything. I would take your time. As a matter of fact, I think that Six of Pentacles is the perfect card. Six of Pentacles says you can start a connection right now, but start slow. It's like Six of Pentacles is the tennis match of love, right? You hit the ball to their side, you wait for them to return the favor, and then you kind of have this nice back and forth. So it might be a good time for that, not like the full commitment. You have this Wall card. It says misunderstandings. Yes, definitely. All these retrogrades at the same time of the two eclipses that we're having. So King of Swords, Queen of Swords. And I will be doing a reading for the eclipse, the Aries eclipse that's happening at the end of the month later on. But we're doing the Virgo eclipse right now. But I want to make it clear that, over the next few months, the King and Queen of Swords are very clear in what they say. Now, so like if you're dealing with important communication, I think it would be a great time to like plan out what you are going to say, or to, kind of like think things through so that there aren't misunderstandings. You have this vulture, says depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. Probably Mars. Mars retrograded in Leo, retrograded into Cancer. And Mars is direct right now, but we're still in the shadow until the beginning of May. So Mars is notorious for making people feel like people are doing things behind their back. So I would just ignore that. It's probably not true. You have this December card and this chair filled. It says someone new is entering your life. Yes, definitely. This could be something that kind of slowly develops between now and the end of the year, or, it could be a person who was born in December or born in the winter or whatever, but definitely a new person. You have this Forest card. It says muddled, unclear thinking. No, I don't think this is true. I think you are confusing yourself. King of Swords, Queen of Swords, Five of Wands. Anytime you're feeling confused, I think you need to tell yourself, I'm making this too complicated. I'm confusing myself. Just like slow things down and think things through, and I feel that will clarify. You'll be fine. So pretty interesting. Looks good here, Cancer. So I feel like this eclipse is rough, by the way. So no, this isn't an amazing reading, but I think it's good considering the circumstances. Let's put it that way. I have a feeling that other people are going to be much more rough than this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the eclipse.